stretch the sketch. How exciting. In my description of the video below, you will find a playlist or a link to everybody else's videos who are playing along this month. I show you a sketch of the clip there, and now it's in the upper corner. And what I'm doing is I'm just taking this single 12 by 12, I'm going to call it layout, and I'm trying to split it down the middle and divide it into 2 pages. So I'm going to have a 12 by 24 layout. And these are photos that I've kind of selected and gathered from our nephew's wedding. And our oldest was just dancing with everybody, with uncles and cousins and her dad, and it was really kind of a neat, I love this collection of photos. And looking at the images, what everybody's dressed in, and knowing the colors from the wedding, I went ahead and I knew that this You Are Enough paper from Close to My Heart, which came out, I want to say a couple years ago now, would be just perfect. And I love this paper so much, I knew to buy an extra pack. So I have some pieces, but I also have a brand new pack with the beautiful cardstock that came with it that had like a rose color embossed image already on it, like a texture to it. So I just went through the papers and I'm selecting different patterns, and as you can see, I'm just kind of laying them out, dry fitting them, as they say, on my pattern. I cut the background cardstock is, what color is it? Is sangria. And then I went ahead and gutted that, so that's where I got those 2 sangria pieces for the photos, kind of the anchor of the photos to be on. And then over top of that sangria outline is sapphire cardstock. And then these other papers, like I said, are from the You Are Enough collection. That was from a couple years ago that I just fell in love with. And it worked so well with the photos, and the colors of the wedding probably were a little more maroon than sangria. Has a little more purple tones in it, but it's still, like I said, it's gonna work, and it's beautiful. So here I'm just deciding on the zip strips. I'm using those as some of my strips to match the layout. And really, I'm taking these stripes and moving them across the page, and I'm trying to honor the different heights and layouts of the photos. But outside of that, I kind of go rogue and put the embellishments in the title where I think it's gonna flow for going across the page. And I'm realizing that when I originally set my photos out, I was thinking that I had 12 inches wide, forgetting that this was kind of a frame in frame layout, and so I would need to compress those in. So I'm gonna do just that here. I'm playing around with them, and I'm realizing this photo, which is the only one that is the landscape version of the photos, really needs to be one of the focal points on this page, because it has the bride of the groom, it has much of the wedding party in it, and everybody. So I really want to have that as a center focal point. And just to the left of that, you'll see later, is the groom dancing with our eldest. So I went ahead and used my edge distresser and distressed all the edges of all the papers. I didn't make you watch me do that because that's just painful. And I went ahead and glued everything down. And as you can see, I used the one side as a guide for how to place the pages on the other side. And then using my flip flaps, because this photo is smaller, I'm going to go ahead and, in a sense, turn this sketch 90 degrees and duplicate it again, or at least honor it, and making it look like that there's papers going out the top and the bottom of this photo. So I'm just using my scraps, and it's about this point that I realize, I can't have the ones outside of the photo because you'll be able to see that they don't go all the way across. So I'll end up pulling those out and just using a few that are within the frame of the photo. Hope that makes sense. There we go. And this is a trick for cutting little pieces of paper apart so that you know that you're getting it where you want it. Just put a little bit of tape runner on the back. I lined it up with the 1/2 inch strip, or the 1/2 inch mark on both sides of the cutting, and I was able to get my 1/2 inch strips, and it didn't move on me or anything. So now this flip flap has the side fold on it so that it opens like a backwards book. And I'm showing you how I attach them is I put them where I want them, And then holding that flip-flop down, I just peel the strip that covers the adhesive, and then you go ahead and burnish down that adhesive under there. If you are new to my channel and haven't subscribed, I give you a reminder right now to hit that red subscribe button. If you want notifications of when I put out videos, you can choose to ring that bell, and that'll let you know when I publish something. I am publishing on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays, or that's my goal. I was doing it really well, then we moved and life happened, but I'm hoping that this is week 1 of hitting that goal. And here what I'm doing is taking this old Bluebell paper. It was a color of the year from 2021, I believe, and that's going to end up being the space that I do some journaling. I apologize for the lights, by the way, and the glare on them. We are working at setting up my new studio space, and I was using different sets of lights, and then I got new lights this week, and I'm realizing as I edit this that they will not work as I had hoped. And so talking to my husband, we have a plan for how we might be able to eliminate that. So stay tuned for better lighting scenarios in the future. We're still, like I said, setting everything up. I just got the monitor mounted to the wall, so it's up and out of my craft space. Now this photo in this flip flap, I cut it off to be 5 inches tall just because we didn't need the ceiling tiles in the photo. And so to make that look better for me, this is my preference, I go ahead and fold the flip flap right where the photo ends, increase it, and then I add some adhesive runner along the back side of the flip flap. So you'll see here that I'm going to go ahead and stick it down, and then I'll flip that back up. I'm trying to keep it center stage for you, and go ahead and peel off the second adhesive on there, and then burnish it down as well. So this way the top of that flip flap doesn't come loose from the page, and it's just a nice, crisp, cleaner finish. I do realize that I need to fill in behind the photo with some of the Bluebell and some embellishments, and I don't do that on camera because I forgot about it until after I had taken all of the video equipment down, because like I said, we're in the process of getting this set outside a temporary setup, but I promise you I will get that done before I put it in my album. And then with this other 4x6 flip flap, I made it into like a little book, as you saw, covering my journaling. And I want to make sure that this feature photo of everyone enjoying the dance floor is lined up with the photos on the right page. So for me, like, the hard work is done. Now we just get to have fun and do some embellishing. And so off camera, I went and used some of those cardstock that has the rose gold in it, and some of the scraps from the You Are Enough papers, and I used just this open leaf pattern, and then these are the closed leaf, and I'm just kind of dry fitting them to get an idea of spacing and what colors I need, and how I'm going to draw the eye from one side to the other. And then later on I'll show you how I ink the edges and shape them a little bit. I chose this open leaf pattern because this was a November wedding, and I remember as we were carrying the gifts into the reception hall, there was leaves that had gotten caught in a wind, funnel, and they literally just blew right over us and covered us with leaves. It was kind of cool. So from that will go in the journaling as well, but it was just, leaves had to go on this page as far as I was concerned. And I'm making sure that when my flip flap is open or closed, that it doesn't get impeded by any of these embellishments. Just something to think about. Ask me how I know. And different leaves, different colors are going to work. I'm trying to use these small flowers to work with the title. I did Belle of the Ball in the, I think it's flamingo, it might be peach. I think it's peach because it's a lighter color. Again, just to give some balance on the page from one side to the other. And because the colors of the wedding were a little more along the magenta side than sangria, I went ahead and chose scarlet to ink the edges on these flowers. If you are not familiar with flower shaping, I do have a series of 3 videos where I show you how I shape flowers from the Cricut, from dies, from punches, and that even with one set of dies you can make multiple shaped flowers just by what techniques you employ to shape them. In this case, I inked the edges a little bit with the inking brush, and then I'm using this stylus, and it's just like a round ball bearing in a pen, and from the back side I'm curling up these leaves, and it kind of wrinkles them, and then with my fingers I'm kind of bending them up just to give them each leaf a nice arc shape from the center. And then you stack 2 of these together that you've shaped, and you have this nice little flower. From here you can add center stuff if you want. Sometimes I've coiled up thread or ribbon, or I've seen people put glue in there and put beads. I just felt like there was enough sparkle going on in the leaves behind it that if I made the focal of, or the center of the flowers too much, it was just going to distract your eye. So here's some close-ups of our photos and the layouts, and I really like how the distressed edge works with kind of the clean edge of the frame. The flip flaps allowed me to add all the photos that I needed to this layout. I didn't show you, but I did take the Scarlet Shimmer brush and dot it on to just kind of break up some of the background. You can see that here on that image there. Here's how you can connect with me on social media. Be sure to go into the description and check out all the other people's videos that are playing along with Stretch the Sketch. You'll see all sorts of great ideas of how they've taken this one same sketch and made it their own. Have a great day. Blessings.